Hello, everyone, and welcome to Distortion Gems number 3, episode number 3. In this episode, we have Deke, who went. Wait, Deke is like the co-host. What am I? I'm doing this like I'm doing a retro fandango. I've done one show for so long, it's hard to put myself in gears of doing another show. Deke is here. The actual star of the show is here.
No stars here. We're all stars.
Deke had an exciting time the other night because he went to see Coney Hatch in North Bay, Ontario. Thunder Bay, sorry. Man, I'm really doing horrible today, man. I think I'm a little tired. But I'll wake up at some point. I'm drinking a little bit of caffeine here in this tea.
Yeah, you better get some strong stuff in there.
So, yeah, Deke went to go see Coney Hatch. He's going to talk about that. And then after that, I attended the record show in Sudbury, the Sudbury Record and Collectables show. And I got some good stuff here. I have been holding back. I haven't told anyone what I got. I haven't posted it on social media or anything. So it's a complete surprise to everybody. And I got some good stuff.
Nice. I look forward to
that you're going to like. It's one of them is an album that we have talked about before. So yeah.
All right.
Okay. But first, we're gonna go to the Coney Hatch show. So Deke, you attended Coney Hatch, Thunder Bay. Was this at the same venue that you went to see Extreme?
Yep.
Same venue. Okay.
And the Cult, they came and played our auditorium, and just like the Cult show and the Extreme show. I really don't want to talk about the attendance.
Okay.
Because it should have been better. Just like I said about all 3 shows. So, but I give credit to the powers that be. All 3 acts showed up. And Coney Hatch for me, as Kev knows and all my buddies know, I love the Hatch. You know, and I've loved them since '82, since when I stumbled across their fantastic self-titled debut and just kept following them. And I followed a bit of Carl Dixon when they broke up. Carl Dixon, they all went solo. I followed Andy's stuff, as you know. And, they're just such a well-oiled machine, and they are such great guys, like they're super chill, but they take the gig seriously. Like they have the musical muscle. I mean, especially with Sean Kelly now on guitar. They got, Dave Ketchum, Thumper, the original drummer. He's been back with them for a lot of years now. And it was a great night. I mean, I went with the boys. I went with T-Bone and his brothers, Dar and Rug. And then my brother-in-law, Darren, he came also. And, we went to Boston Pizza like we did for the Extreme Living Color because it's only 2 blocks away from the auditorium. And those boys proceeded to basically throw down a few beers down the hatch. And, then we went to the auditorium and there's a couple of local bands playing. So, we just kind of sat it out, so to speak. We got there when I guess the second opening act was playing, just because I sure as hell didn't want to miss any Coney. And, on the way there, I before I went, I knew they were playing this upcoming Friday in England at a festival. So I just Googled the ad and for the show, and sure enough, it said, Coney Hatch is on the Friday night and they're playing all of the Friction albums. So I went, I wonder if they're going to, road test those tunes in Thunder Bay.
Sure. Yeah.
So come showtime, they came out and they opened up with, We Got the Night and Stand Up right off the debut album, a couple of boom booms.
Yeah.
And, basically it was a very well-paced set list. They did, obviously, they did Devil's Deck and Monkey Bars. So they did 4 off the debut. Off of their second album, Out of Hand, they did Don't Say Make Me, To Feel the Feeling Again, which I've never heard them do. And I don't even know if they do it that much live. And they did Andy's song, Fallen Angel. So, I mean, these songs weren't in this order. Like they were, I mean, I should have asked Andy for a set list. I mean, duh. and or Sean. I mean, and then I got into it. I'm not going to start taking notes while they're playing. So then when it came to the Friction album, they did 6 tracks off it. And if anybody out there has their postcards from Germany, there's a chunk of that live section where they do 5 songs from Friction.
Right.
And, so on this night in Thunder Bay, they played She's Gone and Wrong Side of Town, which are on the El Macambo album and Postcards from Germany. But they also did Coming to Get You, He's a Champion, State Line, and Burning Love, which I don't want to put words in Andy's mouth, but I think he might have told me after the show that they hadn't played those songs since basically the Friction tour, or maybe 1 or 2 of them have never been played. So it's kind of cool. Like they were actually playing those tunes, and they came across like they've been playing them since '85. I mean, those guys, they know the deal, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it was pretty cool to hear those songs. It was like, wow, like these are really taking me back and whatnot. And then, they off the 4 album that came out maybe a dozen years ago, they played Blown Away and Marseilles, the cover tune off of it. And they don't want to rest on their laurels, but from Postcards from Germany, there's 2 studio tracks.
Right.
And they played Andy's song, Heaven's on the Other Side.
Nice.
So, it was like it was like the Cult show where they did the whole discography with, certain tracks. I mean, the Cult have a lot more records than Coney, but Coney off theirs, they hit each album. And it was a great show. I mean, they played the full 90 minutes, and they're such cool guys. And of course, Coney Hatch being Coney Hatch and being cool guys, they don't do VIP. They don't charge for that bullshit. Like you give them 10 minutes, 15 minutes after the show, they come out to the merch table.
Oh, wow. So you sent me some photos, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so those weren't, I thought you got a VIP package here. Let me, let me figure out. I should have done this ahead of time. Here we go. There it is.
Slide without a net, baby.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, there's me and Andy outside in the lobby of the auditorium. Of course, I had to wear the Andy Curran colors. So, he's everybody knows who's seen probably my chats with him. He's just such a down-to-earth, great guy. He's got great stories. I mean, he's just one of the best guys ever to walk the face of the earth in the entertainment music business. I mean, no ego, nothing. I mean, I think all those guys are like that in that band. I mean, out of the 4 of them, I kind of know him and Sean Kelly, obviously the best.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the other 2 guys always seem like nice guys too. So I don't see Andy hanging out with jerks, So,
well, he hangs out with you, so.
Well, I guess he takes pity on a couple of jerks out there in the world. So,
But here you are with the whole band. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was kind of neat. People were running in and getting shots taken with them because they say, "Hey, anyone want a picture with the band? Now do it." So everybody was running in and getting shots, and so I thought T-Bone's going, "Get in there, Deke." So I got in there and got out. So it looks like it was a planned shot, but kind of was it, but wasn't. So good time.
My favorite part of this photo is the person working the booth behind here. Looks like she is ready to go home. And you are just taking up too much of her time right now. Like, what is this going to wrap up?
Well, she was selling the Coney merch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she probably couldn't get cut loose until they closed up shop.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, well, what are you going to do? Coney Hatch doesn't roll into town every day. So
no, this was their first time back in 5 years. And before that, almost 30.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't even know when the last time they've been to Sudbury. And I know Carl Dixon does perform at My Cousin Vinny's in Valcaron, which is just outside of Sudbury. He does it once in a while.
Right.
But the last time he did it, we had just moved here. And it was like, we weren't going to be able to see a show. Did you want me to show the videos too, or just the photos?
You can show one of the videos if you want. Just pick one, and everybody can see where I was at.
Yeah, if we go back, you're. Oh, Get some sound here. Yeah,
They were loud.
I gotta turn that down. I can't hear myself. That is a loud band.
That is a loud band.
Yeah, where you're like right by the bass, so you're just getting a bunch of bass there. But those are some great seats, man. You are right up close.
I don't even hear any sound.
Oh no? Oh, sorry. Maybe it doesn't come through. I'm not sure. I should have probably tested this ahead of time, right?
That's all good.
I think if I share on a screen, it might screw up.
Yeah, it's all good. And all so, anyways, yeah, there's some more pics.
Yeah, we'll get to your photos here, man. Yeah, you took some really good shots.
Thanks. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what the heck that is. Oops.
Creeper. Somebody's creeping on Facebook.
I'm creeping the Toronto Blue Jays. Sorry. I don't know what happened to all my photos here.
There we go.
See, I didn't prepare this like I prepared it the last time where I had it all in a slide. Oh yeah, what's this guitar pick? The Earl of Eight. Did he give you that? Is that yeah? Okay, that's cool.
He had some picks, so he gave me a couple. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then you can see on the other pick if you have the other picture.
Yeah,
on the front.
Yeah, Coney Hatch
after Molly Hatchet, which is so clever.
And that's the Molly Hatchet logo there.
That is the Molly Hatchet logo. Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, you know what? Good times, and it was pretty good. You know, like we had third row, but you know, like I waited to see what the crowd was going to do, and you know, a few people got up and went to the front, and I thought, well, I'm going to go and get my head blasted out by Andy's bass for the night. So I just found my spot at the front, and I enjoyed it. And after the show, as I said, you know, like I said earlier, like I mean, when they first come out, everybody's like on them, right? There's maybe about 30, 40 people waiting around. And, you know, a lot of people had records and stuff for them to sign and whatnot. And so Andy and Sean were on kind of one end of the lobby, and Carl and Dave were at the other. So I didn't really get a chance to talk to Carl and Dave really at all. But Sean obviously had a bit of a conversation with, and Andy, of course. And it was pretty cool. So when I saw Sean, I brought, I don't know if you can see it, but I got him the John Henry, the Metal and Ice CD for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And as far as their merch goes, I already have 3 Coney Hatch t-shirts. I have an Envy and None t-shirt. I have an Andy Curran t-shirt and an Envy and None hat.
And you have his album too, the solo album, the big box set.
And the Soho stuff, and a lot of the stuff I got signed when they were here 5 years ago. So, but I did, and you'll remember this one. Yes,
nice. Drunk plan.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
The one little gimmick that came out of his Whiskey and the Devil box set, I took the Captain Curran.
Oh, cool.
And got him to sign that. So
that is so cool.
Yeah. So that was basically it. And you know what? It was a fun night. And I know the boys I was with, they had a great time. And like I said, it was a great hang. I mean, I kind of talked to, probably was one of the last guys who talked to Andy, because there was 2 guys in front of me. So I kind of backed off, because I get it, man. They were grilling him about, hey man, you toured with Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. And I'm thinking, yeah, that was me 5 years ago. So,
you're right.
You know, so I just kind of stepped back, and then Andy obviously noticed me, and he said, hey, nice t-shirt, Deke. So I knew that was like you. So I went and had a chat with him for a few minutes, and it was pretty good. And you know, you're not going to tie up too much of these guys' time, right? Like, they just got off stage, for God's sakes. They're basically doing the fans a favor.
Yeah. No, that's so cool that they come out and do that and don't charge an arm and a leg. I know a buddy of mine messaged me about Weird Al Yankovic coming to Toronto, and he wanted to do the whole meet and greet thing and all that. And he showed me the price of the tickets, and I was like, I like Weird Al and everything. I saw him in 1993. That's a little pricey. And I get that a lot of the money that they do generate, like depending on who it is, a lot of that money will go to a charity or something like that. But
Yeah.
but still, that's so cool that they just do that. Just to meet up with some fans. That's
Well,
awesome.
I was kind of, I texted Andy actually earlier in the day and said, if I bring a few things down, and he says, yeah, man, definitely. And he said, yeah, we'll be out at the merch table after the show. So easy peasy. But I think I kind of know how those guys roll because, they, like I said, some people brought vinyl and CDs and whatnot. And
Right,
stuff.
right.
Yeah, it was cool. And like I said, yeah, they're going to play England on Friday. Because Sean's such a great guy. He told me, he says, yeah, man. He goes, we're playing England Friday night, and we're playing a festival in France on Saturday night. And then I come back home and I go back to work on Wednesday. Like, what?
Wow.
Get me some of that energy drinks here.
Yeah.
Sucking that, man. So, yeah, life of a rocker.
Yeah.
So, doing what he loves. So, yeah, it was a great night of rock, Kev. And that's it till Maiden in a few weeks. So, we'll be back and I'll be yapping about that one. So, sit tight, folks.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess we'll get to what I've been doing, just bumming around Sudbury, I guess, collecting music. Now I will get to the records that I got at the Sudbury Record Show in a minute, but first I have some dirty CDs I bought dirt cheap.
Nice.
So I think this was the day before the record show. Well, yeah, okay, the day before the record show, I went to Value Village, and I wasn't going to buy anything. There was a bunch of people standing at the CDs. It seems like a lot more people are checking out CDs now than they were in the past. And yeah, and so I was gonna give up, and then I kind of swung by them on my way out, and I'm glad I did because I did find some good stuff. What I'm not too crazy about, I picked up this Gnarls Barkley CD, Saint Elsewhere. This has that CeeLo Green guy in the band, and they have that one hit, Crazy.
Yep,
which is on here.
Yeah,
which is on here, and it's a good song. The rest of the album, I don't know. Maybe I need a few more spins, but it's not really my thing. Anytime I see some Van Morrison, especially the mid years to the older stuff, I will pick it up. So I found this one, Wavelength, Van Morrison. So this came out in 1978, and it's got a bit of a Jackson Browne vibe to it, feel to it, but good stuff.
Was he running on empty?
No, not full on Jackson Browne, just a little like Van Morrison doing a Jackson Browne vibe.
Cool.
And then I've been a fan of Keb Mo for a while. Keb Mo is a blues guy, kind of acoustic blues guy. He was featured in that Martin Scorsese blues series that came out about 20 years ago now, I guess. Mm-hmm. And his CDs were always super expensive, and somebody dumped out of their collection, so I got myself 3 of them. So wow. I got his first one, just plain old Keb Mo, self-titled, and a couple of mid 2000s. So I got Suitcase, and what's this one again? Oh yeah, Keep It Simple. And nice. There's sort of has a Grammy sticker there, but it kind of got ripped there. So yeah, those are all $2.99. And then I was on Amazon for some reason, and I wasn't looking to buy any CDs, but the thing came up at my recommended CD thing, and that catches you sometime. And it was to Tom Petty's Mud Crunch. Tom Petty's. Nice.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. So I have the second one on vinyl, and this first one is really hard to come by for a reasonable price anyways. So even the CD has been expensive for a long time, but this was actually it was like an Amazon seller that had it, and they had it for $10 plus $2.99 shipping. So I said, what the heck? Cool. So I finally got myself that because I have very few holes in my Tom Petty collection. There's not many there, and this was one that I wanted to seal up. So eventually, this will probably get a re-release because they've been re-releasing all of Tom Petty's stuff. So at some point it will. But in the meantime, between now and maybe 10 years from now, I'll have this. So those are all the dirty CDs I got. So yeah, the record show, we were out of town actually, and we were going to plan a whole like trip to Ottawa to go do some record hunting and all that. And then I don't know, maybe 2 weeks before we were going to leave, I got a message that the Sudbury record show was happening on the weekend that we were going to do that. So I said, screw it, we're just going to come home. We were kind of tired anyways, and we went to the Sudbury record show. So I think, oh yeah,
what you got?
Okay, well here we go. Well, we're sorry. Okay, I'll start with the very last record I bought at the show. I actually I talked myself into this one because I was there with my friend Mark, and he was looking at the album cover, and he's like, "Son of Schmielsen," and it's like this macabre cover where Harry Nilsson is doing like this I don't know, Dracula kind of thing or whatever. And I was like, I actually know something about that album. So Harry Nilsson, Harry Nilsson was like, he had a big album before this one called Nilsson Smielsen. It had a bunch of hits on it. And he got, the record label wanted him to put out basically Nilsson Schmielsen Part 2. So he gets in the record studio and he is all a little bit full of himself, drinking, doing a lot of drugs and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Got a couple of Beatles on this album. Ringo makes an appearance, and Harrison makes an appearance on this. But all the music he's creating on here is like avant-garde. It's kind of out there kind of stuff. He's doing a lot of experimenting and all that. And the record label is like, yeah, that's all great and everything. You got Beatles on there and all that stuff. That's awesome. But we need a hit. We need something we can play on the radio. So they go to the producer. I can't remember the producer's name. Irrelevant. Anyways, they go to the producer and like, can you convince him to do a hit song? So the producer goes to Harry and says, look, you got all this good stuff. You got the Beatles and all that. We need a hit song. And all the songs too, they're all like about, I don't know, just weird stuff. Like it's not rock and roll. He's like, yeah, how about you do a love song? So Harry Nilsson's like, okay, I'll do a love song. And the song he comes up with is called You're Breaking My Heart. And it's about his ex-wife who he just broke up with. And if you know anything about this song, the song goes, you're breaking my heart. You're tearing me apart. So fuck you.
Whoa.
And that was the big hit. So as I'm telling my buddy Mark about this stuff, I'm like, and this album's only $12. You know what? I'm gonna grab it. So
there you go.
So there you go. I got a piece of vulgar history. This is 1972, by the way. This was like, I mean, if you were John Lennon, you could get away with some cussing on an album, but for a record label to just put cussing on anybody's album in 1972, that was a bit of a coup. So
yeah, sure was back then. Yeah.
So I am Canadian Grooves, so I did get myself some Canadian content. I got this other album from 1972. I got myself Joni Mitchell's For the Roses. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, folk music, that's not very exciting. This Joni Mitchell album's not very exciting. Like, if you're not into Joni Mitchell, like, look at, even the cover's not very exciting. But there's a little vulgarity in this one, too.
Look at you going on the seedier side.
There's some hidden stuff in here. If you open up the gatefold to this, you got yourself some of Joni's artwork, which you see a lot in Joni's artwork.
Right.
All right.
Yep.
But if you know, like I know where to find the stuff, there's a second gatefold. The second gatefold, you got some bum.
Whoa!
You get some Joni's bum in there.
Joni's bum.
Yeah. So Pro tip for you guys: if you're looking for some bum for $10, you get yourself some. How the album sounds, I don't know, but I knew the bum was in there.
Boom.
So I think I got some more. I got 2 more pieces of Canadian content. I found the King's second album.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah. Amazon Beach. So this I rarely see this one. I've always seen the Kings. The Kings Are Here. I see it at every show. Almost every table has it. But for it was Ivan, the guy who runs the show at the Sudbury Records and Collectible shows. He had it on his table for $7.
Wow.
So I said, what the heck? Why not? I just saw them last summer, and they put on a really good show. And so I gave this a spin, and it's pretty good. That Mr. Zero was a good guitar player, very underrated.
Yep.
One more piece of CanCon. I went specifically, one of the records I wanted to find was April Wine's On Record, and nobody had it. I couldn't find it. But I did find April Wine's Stand Back, which has the big cannon on there.
Yep.
And it's got the big Oh What a Night song on it.
That's the big song from it?
Yeah. With the
ding 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 ding.
Yeah. Which is another band I just saw this past summer. Mike Greenway, not on this album.
Brian Greenway.
Oh, sorry. I keep calling him Mike. I don't know why.
Gotta get a Mike Greenway t-shirt.
He's still not with the band yet. The only original member is still not with the band yet.
Yeah, well, that's the story we've already discussed.
Right. By the way, we should mention that Coney Hatch, pretty much all the original members, just one outlier.
Yeah, and Sean's been with them for
a long time.
2013, I think.
Yeah.
And now he's a full-time guy. So
they've
only really had Steve Shelsky, one member change, really.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good over 40 years. So anyway, sorry. I'm still in your thunder.
That's okay. It's okay. Okay. Now get ready. Your ears are going to perk up for these 2 things. So
I don't know after that Joni Mitchell bum shot.
I know it's kind of hard to top. I should have saved that for the end, but
the encore.
These are the deep cuts for the real music fans here. So there was a guy at this show that he hasn't a vendor who hasn't been at any of the other shows, and as soon as I walked in, one of my friends came up to me and he's like, "Kevin, you got to check out that table. It's really awesome." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll take a look at it in a bit," because I'm kind of loyal to Ivan, who runs the show and all that, and I kind of flip through his stuff. As I'm flipping through it, I'm looking over there and I'm like, "Oh man, that table's getting a lot of traffic." So I kind of dumped Sarah there, like, keep looking through there if you see it. If you see anything, nice. I went to check over this new table. Well, this guy who's been here for the first time, and he had some really good stuff. He was from Cambridge. All the stuff was clean. It was pristine. I was like, "Is this part of his your personal?" I asked him, "Is this part of your personal collection?" He's like, "No, this stuff I'm just selling." He cleaned all of his records and reasonably priced. Everything was reasonably priced. So I bought 2 things from him, 2 albums. I was tempted to buy. He had the Less Than Zero soundtrack. Which, if do you know anything about that soundtrack?
That's a hard one to get.
I know it was $40 though, and it's got that Slayer covering Inagata Devita.
That's the best Slayer song I've ever heard in my life.
I know, and I was so tempted to buy it, but I couldn't do it.
Poison on there. It's got Kiss. It's got Aerosmith. It's got LL Cool J, I think.
Yep.
Is it NWA or Public Enemy?
I'm not a rap guy, so I know there was rap.
I'm not either. It had Roy Orbison, the Bangles. Yeah. T-Bone bought it originally we went to see the movie.
Okay.
Back in the theaters, when it came out. And the next day, we heard some of those songs at the end of the credits of the movie.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what song it was, but we went to buy the cassette and that song wasn't on there. But T-Bone's going, "Deke, look at this. Look at these bands that are on here." So he bought it. And that one's very, very elusive to get. So
I was tempted. I was very tempted.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, maybe I should have got that. That would have impressed you more. It's all about impressing Deke here, man. Oh no, you'll like
Doesn't take
this.
much.
So for $20,
Mhm.
I got myself Thin Lizzy's
Ooh,
Johnny the Fox.
Johnny the Fox. More Lizzie to your collection.
Now it has a little remainder cut thing. Oh,
Yeah.
there it is on there. But who cares, man? It's
Who cares?
yeah, really good album. I've given this 2 spins already, and I really like that. Don't Believe a Word. I really dig that song.
Yeah.
So this is one of the ones with Robo on it. Robo.
Who
The guy
crashed
that went
and
on to
burned-
Motorhead.
Yeah, he crashed and burned in there.
Yeah. And I got myself some more Thin Lizzy. Some say this is Thin Lizzy's best album, but it's not a studio album. It's a double live album called Armed and Dangerous.
Oh, that's one of the all-time greats, man.
And $25 original
Nice.
LP.
Nice.
That cover just says rock and roll, man. Rock and
That
roll.
is
right
rock and roll. That front cover, the back cover, the gatefold, everything about it is brilliant. I actually picked that up 2 years ago in Toronto at Sonic Boom because I think I might have paid $35 for it, but it was like, I got to get that, finally get it, because it's regarded, the holy trinity of live albums. I mean, I think some of it was recorded in Toronto. Back cover.
Let me
I ain't
see.
shitting you, brother. I ain't shitting you.
Yeah, it just says Johnny the Fox 1976 tour and 77 tour. Oh yeah, Seneca College.
Yeah, see, hey, what do you think? I'm
Yep.
down some BS here?
Listen, you said I think, right? You didn't say it definitely happened. You said I
Wait.
think. So I was on deck.
Kevin's all of a sudden become a lawyer.
Now, here's the part that I didn't know. Now, this might be something that everybody knows, and I'm the last one to figure this out or find this out. But on the back cover, I'm reading it. The special thanks to the very first person. Yeah, I knew everybody would know this. I'm the only one. So the very first person is the bluesy Huey Lewis. And I'm like, that can't be Huey.
Yes, it is.
Sure enough, it's friggin'
Huey
Huey Lewis. I listen to the whole thing. I hear some guy playing a saxophone. I'm like, no, that can't be it. And then on the last side of the very last album, harmonica starts playing. I'm like, oh, is that really Huey Lewis? And then, yeah, he throws to Phil throws to Huey Lewis or gives him a shout out as a band member at the end of the show, and I was floored. And then I looked it up online, and there's all sorts of photos of Phil and Huey together, and there's a story about how Huey was in this band called Clover, and they were opening for Thin Lizzy, and they were struggling to get through their set because the crowd just wanted Thin Lizzy. They didn't care about Clover. And, so Huey came off the stage one time and Phil just took him under his wing. He's like, I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to show you how to be a front man. And, Huey's, they became good friends, and he performed on his solo album, on Phil's solo album, Harmonica. So I know everyone knows this, but this was new to me. I learned this today.
That's okay, man. You're a late bloomer.
I guess so. Okay. So the final, the big one I got.
Pick, that's a great pick.
I know this is hard. This one was hard to top. I don't know if I topped it, but this is just an album that we've talked about before. And I almost bought it. When I first got into record collecting, I almost bought it, but I had a rule. This was like, 7, 8, maybe 9 years ago now. My rule was I would not pay more than around the $20 mark for a single disc. And I would not pay more than $30, $35 for a double. And I did well with that for a long time. I would wait for stuff to go on sale on Amazon and all that. That's how I built most of my collection, is just waiting and staying by that rule. But one of the first albums I saw when I was out, I was in Barrie, Ontario, and I saw this album, and it was on the shelf, and it was another double live album. But they wanted $40 for it. And I'm like, that breaks the rule. I know I can find it for cheaper. and I never saw it again.
Whoa.
Never again. I know that I believe you had bought a copy, and I'm like, man, I can't find that album anywhere. And I'm not saying it's a hard album to find. I'm not saying it's rare. I just never found it. I never saw it. So finally, at the Sudbury Record Show, Ozzy Osbourne, Speak of the Devil
Nice.
for $40.
Yep.
And I said, damn, it hasn't gone up in price in 7-8 years. I'm going to buy it.
You have to, man. It's never been reissued or in any format. So yeah, you got to get it.
And it was in great shape. Everything was intact. The only thing was that the records were dusty. I had to dust get the brush out. I got that awesome gatefold in there.
Mm-hmm.
Scary stuff.
Scary Ozzy.
But
it's the worst.
Yeah, it was like the records weren't warped or anything like that. I don't have to put them out in the sun or anything like that. All the covers were in there, but I just put them in these ones. But yeah, it was all in great shape. And
it's on the original Jet Records label.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I do have it. I do have this on CD as well, but and that was my other hang up about buying it too at that time in Barrie. But now it's like, no, I found it for the exact same price. I'm not going to think about having to rebuy it or missing out on it again. So
no, that was from that new seller?
No, this one was from Ivan. It was actually at his table. And I did go back to his table and I carried on from where I was and I found it. So I bought it from him. That other seller, his records were not dusty. That other seller, his records were all pristine. He said I can't remember what they call it. They do some sort of cleaning thing, electromagnetic cleaning or something. They always say like, oh yeah, I cleaned it with the thing. I don't know. I take the brush and I dust it out, and then I got a little spin thing, clean thing. You got to take the dust out though. If you can't just put it through the spin thing, because then it doesn't get the dust out. But yeah, and I played it. Sounds fantastic. It's
an all-time great. I picked it up a year ago. Some guy in town had it on Facebook on Thunder Bay Buy and Sell, and it sat there for a few days, and then finally I inquired about it because sometimes these people don't take their posts down.
Right.
I'm sure somebody already bought it for $30. So I said, "Hey, is that Aussie record still available?" And the guy goes, "Yep." I'm like, "So we need to go for a ride." So yeah, he had it, and same thing, mint shape, and the cover's a little worn, but who gives a
yeah?
So it was like, so hard to get. I mean, as you know, I think I probably told you about 4 or 5 months ago, I got that real hard copy. It's hard to track down at a decent price. Tribute,
the
Ozzy Rhodes one, and I paid a decent buck for it, but I had to get it because I knew if I went to the next bin and the bin over, somebody would come along and go, "Whoa, yeah, okay." So I paid a bit of an arm and a leg for it, $75, but I had to get it, and and it's not like I'm going to be getting rid of it or doing anything with it other than keeping it for myself. So good score, buddy. That's awesome. Those last two, I mean, you can't go wrong. Even the Ozzy, it's kind of funny. You listen to it, you can almost hear his vocals double tracked, and
I mean that thing was like this album. Don't get me wrong. This isn't like the best, like it was absolutely thrown together at the last minute. Like what was it? They found out that Black Sabbath was putting out a live album. So
was that, and the record company, I think, wanted to put out the stuff that ended up on Tribute. They wanted to kind of cash in on the
right. Well, this is all just Black Sabbath tunes,
but
right?
Then Ozzy said, "You want a live album? I'm going to do all Sabbath." And I'm sure it was a stick to the Sabbath guys.
I think it was. Yeah. Right.
Like maybe he just deflected, saying that the record company wanted to do road stuff, but it was probably Sharon saying, "You know what? Let's stick it to Geezer."
Yeah.
And Iommi and whatnot and stuff. But that's good scores, buddy. And beforehand, me and Kevin, we really don't talk about what we found or whatnot, so I didn't know about any of these records. So it was cool. We got everything from Ozzy to Joni Mitchell's ass. What do you want?
I mean, that's pretty awesome, isn't it? I mean, I was so like, I've never been so satisfied at after a record show. Like normally I'm always like just keep looking for more, whatever, till I'm too tired to look for
Yeah.
more. But this was like I went to those two tables and then I found the Schmielsen one at at a third table, and I had those records. I'm like, I'm done. I don't need to look at if I don't find another thing, I am good. And I did take a little glance around, and you know, some tables have a lot of good stuff, but they want a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
Like, and I just yeah, it was a really good
Well, hey
time.
man, that's great scores, man. That's what it's about.
So I'm looking forward to the next show whenever that comes around. Probably not till the spring, but I know they do one in North Bay, but I think it's like on the same weekend or
Oh,
something
sorry,
like
I thought you
that.
were talking about our show not coming back till spring.
Oh, our
That's
show. Oh, no,
like
no, this.
it's like, hey, wait a minute. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at. I thought you meant we were not coming back till spring.
No, no. Oh, geez. I hope
You know what?
not. I mean, we got
Maybe for the next one, me and Suey will have to time a road trip for that one.
for
Your record
the record show. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be in the spring. So I don't know if the snow will have melted or we'll see.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out.
yeah. Anyways, and then Sarah and we have to come out there at some point next
Right.
year too. That's
And
happening.
speaking of Sarah, kudos for her basically being your wing woman while you went and scoured off to where the guy was.
Yeah, I
selling
know.
it.
Yeah, I always leave her with like the garbage
That's
jobs.
good, man. That's good. Yeah, you gotta gotta take care of that girl.
Yeah, no, she definitely is a good sport when it comes to all that stuff.
Awesome, man.
Okay, I think that's everything. We've said it all for this time. We'll see you next time. Should we tease the next episode? What if it doesn't happen?
Well, I think what we should do is we'll do a straight CD vinyl episode maybe in 2 weeks time. Like we'll try and do it. And then we'll each see our shows.
Okay.
And then that'll be an episode. You know what I mean? And kind of maybe flip-flop it that way. But I think maybe not next week, but the week after we'll figure something out and we'll talk some music with you all.
Okay.
So thanks for watching.
That sounds good. That's a tease right there.
Boom.
All right. Bye, everybody.